The last bit of your story is, of course, your ending, your resolution. And this is the time when you will tie up the loose ends in your story. Everything in your story, every single word, should have been lending itself to the importance of the ending. Okay, there should be no unnecessary stuff in there. Now, with your ending, you've got a few choices. Of course, the number one rule that all of your teachers and anyone who likes stories will agree upon is don't have a sudden ending that doesn't resolve your story, such as, and then the characters woke up, or, it was all a dream, and you leave. I actually have read a story where, very cleverly written, the people were in a cinema watching a horror film, and then a monster actually came into the cinema and started ripping through the seats and tearing people to pieces. And then they realised it was actually just a movie, and that was the end of the story. So the central character didn't get ripped to pieces. They just realised that they were still in a movie, and that was where it ended. So it left us hanging. We don't want to hang. We might want a few little extra questions that come up at the end, but your main ideas all need to be resolved. Now, your ending shouldn't come out of nowhere. You should already have built us up to this a little bit. A surprise ending is one thing, but even a surprise ending should have had tiny little clues that something like that was going to happen. I called it foreshadowing before, okay? And these little clues will just get us ready. They'll build suspense and have us asking how it's going to end. Now, you've got a choice. You can go with your foreshadowing, or you can go against it. Those clues you gave could be false clues. And in many senses, if this fits in well with your story and fits in well with your characters, is another really good way to end. Defy our expectations. A really good story has us the whole way through the story teetering on the edge of worry, and teetering on the edge of wondering whether it's actually going to work for the character, whatever situation they're stuck in. Is our little friend really going to realise that he's got this funny smell going on, and overcome it? All the way through the story, we're hoping he will, as the girl he proposes to for the formal turns him down, or he goes for a job in the local store and they're all got clothes pegs on their noses because they can't stand his smell. We want him to get over it. And all the way through the story, we want this to happen. So in the end, you've got to address that issue. He's got to get over it, or else he's got to meet another girl who carries bugs in her shorts, and they live happily ever after together, or something like that. Obviously they don't live happily ever after. That's way too much for cliche. But they find a sense of closure in the ending, and it's resolved.